groovy.
Welcome back, Horror Hounds! We have surpassed another goal on this channel with the first 500 subscribers. Thank you all for making this happen, and if you're tuning in for the first time and happen to love cheesy horror films of yesteryear like I do, then don't hesitate, subscribe below so you don't miss out on all the polls, discussions, and overall fun that this channel really is. In this video, I'm going to discuss the definitive 80s workout horror film, and I'm not talking about Linnea Quigley's workout video either. That's actually not a bad film. I'm talking about Death Spa. Death Spa, also known as Witch Bitch in Europe, I mean, come on, that's kind of a funny title, was filmed on a meager budget of $750,000 in California around LA and Hollywood, and stars some notable horror stars, such as Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead, From Beyond, and The Devil's Rejects, Rosalind Cash from The Omega Man and Tales from the Hood, and Brenda Bake from Demon Knight. Actress Karen Parsons made her screen debut in Death Spa and was subsequently brought in to audition for the TV show The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as Hilary Banks after an NBC executive saw Death Spa on late night cable. That's about the only place you're going to find a movie like this, really. According to Michael Fischa, director of Death Spa, the idea for the film came simply from the health craze that swept across LA at the time, with health clubs popping up on every street corner. The lead actor, William Bumiller, was actually working as a health club manager in real life prior to being hired to be in this film as one. Now that's good role casting. Okay folks, let's take a look at the film now in all of its gory glory, and make sure you stick around for more fun facts after the breakdown. In the opening sequence, we begin facing the exterior of the Starbody Health Spa. What a horrible neon sign. With the lighting, it's barely legible. Oh, that's better. And here we have our title card, folks. This is definitely no Gold's Gym. What the hell is this? A bar just sticking through a wall? Interesting.
You're the last one out. Make sure you lock it.
This guy makes her walk out alone, at night, in a creepy place. She uses her keycard to open her locker. Is that a real thing? After getting undressed, she heads over to the sauna for a relaxing sweat. The room starts filling with some sort of gas. She can't get out. Stereotypical. She's too late getting fresh air and passes out. Next, we are taken to a posh Hollywood Hills home. Nice pool, where this guy is taking a nap and having a dream about a woman in a wheelchair on fire. Maybe you should lay off the peyote. The guy then races over to the local hospital emergency room, where he starts searching each room. Looks like they use those sticky letters you can buy at a hardware store to label this operating room. Let's see what's behind door number 2.
Excuse me.
Busted. We find out the guy on the left is Michael Evans, who happens to be the health club owner. The doctor takes Mike to see Laura, the one who got injured at the health club earlier. We're informed the chemical she was exposed to was chlorine vapor. Mike chills in the waiting room. The next morning at the club, we see folks working out in a very cramped gym. What the hell is this guy wearing anyway? Then we see a projector doubling as a camera. I don't think they had any sense of technology and its proper uses in 80s horror films. We then learned that the entire club is controlled electronically. Like I said, no sense of technology. Mike and the club manager are interrogated by the local police about Laura's gassing incident from earlier. Mike explains the club is ran by a computer.
The computer helps us run the spa. The system is unique to Starbody. It controls all the automatic functions.
And who programmed the computer?
My programmer is my brother-in-law. My former brother-in-law, David Avery.
What do you mean by former brother-in-law?
My wife is dead.
I get the sense the Popo are getting way too deep in Mike's business. The cops talk to David and find out he's the only one with access to the system.
Well, that sort of narrows it down to you then, doesn't it?
I'd say so.
Hacking. Experimenting with computer programs.
So David's a hacker. Ah, I see. 14 minutes into this film and we already have our killer, or at least a damn good suspect. Over at the pool, this happens. I wonder what happens next.
How does a goddamn diving board just break loose?
The computer. That damn computer did it. The cop then sees the oversized projector-like security camera hanging precariously from a shelf bracket. Mike has a word with David.
I think there's a glitch in your precious system.
That's impossible.
We then find out David's sister Catherine, who was married to Mike, was also David's twin. Sergeant Stone mentions what happened to David's wife after checking his file.
She was burned to unrecognizable ashes. Now, does that suggest anything to you?
I gotta tell my wife to start smoking in bed.
Someone hates their wife. Back at Mike's house, clearly the same shot reused from earlier, he's passed out again, where he dreams of a burning wheelchair this time. Kids, don't do drugs. What am I saying? You guys shouldn't even be watching this video anyway. Back at the club, Darla puts moves on a guy working out.
Well, why don't you show off for me?
I never waste effort in the gym. Besides, I'm Beta, you're VHS.
Where she's blown off with an 80s reference. Two women make a veggie shake. We call them smoothies today.
Oh my god! Gotcha!
This film oozes 80s culture. Mike finds something strange in his office. What the hell is that? He blames David.
What's with the goddamn bird's nest?
So that's what it was. The ladies' shower room gets way too hot. The water, I mean. Causing the towel just to jump right off the walls. Mike talks to the ladies from the shower room incident. Is she checking out his junk?
To tell you the truth, Michael, this place could use better maintenance.
I would have to agree, Mike. Mike asked the ladies to come back to his office where he will extend their memberships for 3 months at no charge.
Do you think you can handle both of us after jazz class tomorrow?
Sounds like that's not the only thing Mike will be extending back at his office. The smart-ass guy from earlier starts working out on a butterfly machine, where he springs a leak. He'll need to clean that equipment when he's done for the next person. Mike's financial advisor / lawyer suggests they leave the club on automatic because without automation, it wouldn't be unique. Yeah, unique is one way of putting it. Mike brings Laura home from the hospital. At least she looks happy. Then tries to put the moves on her while she eats. Blindly, of course. And feeds her asparagus, where moments later her pee will horrendously stink. Nothing suggestive at all about this scene. Back at the club, the automatic locker doors start acting up and kills this woman. Mike brings Laura back to the club so she can get her things from her locker, the same locker that killed the woman just seconds ago. Her eyes are still bandaged so she can't see shit. Probably not a bad thing in this case. Mike unlocks the automated system using his dead ex-wife's name as a password. You should always pick passwords that are hard to guess. Mike didn't. We see a stranger in a dress walking through the locker room. The system tells Mike something. Laura looks for Mike. Mike sees the stranger on the monitor. Turns out Darla was just having some fun. Back at Mike's crib, he has another dream about Catherine, his ex-wife. Is that gasoline I see? Why, yes. Yes, it was.
I feel a presence.
I'm sure Laura doesn't want to hear about it, Mike.
It's Catherine. I feel like she's reaching out somehow and causing all this trouble.
Bingo.
The next morning, we meet Dr. Moray, a paranormal investigator, that Mike visits for his little issue at the club. The doc waves a flashing test tube over Catherine's brooch and tells Mike what he already knows about his wife. Thanks, Captain Obvious.
You're gonna have to do better than that, Dr. Morey.
A bird's nest.
Now the doc has Mike's attention. The doc explains the significance of the bird's nest Mike found in his office earlier as being a symbol from Catherine. Weird. The doc agrees to come out to the club to investigate. Linda, the woman who's supposed to meet Mike for that, extension, receives a note asking her to meet him in the basement. So she heads to the basement, where the sprinklers malfunction like everything else in this damn club, and Linda gets covered in acid. Back at Mike's pad, Laura lets David in, where David begins screwing with Mike's computer. After all, he's a hacker. Then another woman shows up to bring Mike groceries. David is clearly jealous of Mike's game he's running as a player. Mike shows up and finds his groceries sitting on the steps. Man, David is a dick.
God, I am a nervous wreck.
You know it's an 80s horror film when they break out the Casio wristwatch. Dr. Moray gets the shit scared out of him. During his investigation, Dr. Moray finds Linda's remains. Catherine's ghost appears. Dr. Moray defends himself, sort of. Catherine tosses Moray again. I think it's safe to say the doc is finally dead at this point. Mike jumps off the balcony after seeing his wife's ghost. Turns out it was just another bizarre dream of Mike's, though. Mike heads back to the club to find the lawyer's watch, evidence that he's been screwing with the HVAC system. Mike confronts his lawyer, Tom, where he gives him back his Casio.
Where'd you find this?
Oh, come on, Tom, don't play dumb. Mike then confronts Priscilla, the club manager who's sleeping with Tom, where she confesses to gassing Laura from earlier in order to buy out the club with the help of Tom, the sleazy lawyer. A real Scooby-Doo mystery unraveling here, folks. She also confirms David had nothing to do with it. You guys kiss and make up now.
No.
Something bothers David. Catherine speaks to Mike again through the terminal. Mike shuts the system down at the club.
And that's the end of that. I like it.
Mike and the cops head over to David's house where he's nowhere to be found. Back at the club, they're getting ready for the Mardi Gras party. At the party, we see a gorilla drinking wine in the pool. And of course, dancing, 80s style. The cops show up. So does Catherine's ghost. The attendant watches guests make out on a camera, while Catherine turns back on the system. Catherine then kills Jeffrey, the inept attendant, and dresses up as Jeffrey to grab Laura, so she can do this. But she decides to barbecue Laura instead in the tanning bed. Mike goes back to shut the system down, again. Mike finds Jeffrey. Yikes! Catherine has control over the system now, but didn't she this whole time? And wants Mike to join her. How, may you ask?
Killing yourself isn't so hard, really.
Catherine knocks Mike out. Tom's making out in the sauna when this happens randomly. Bye-bye, Tom. Mike regains himself and we see Catherine is really David, her twin brother, the guy who built the system. David morphs back into Catherine. Okay, now I'm confused. Catherine sounds like a deadite.
Don't give me ultimatums!
She turns back into David again. Mike breaks into the tanning room where Laura is being cooked alive.
Let's die together and live forever in hell.
No thanks. Marvin grabs Catherine. Catherine throws Marvin. Everyone else is completely unfazed by all of this shit. The girl that was screwing around with the blender earlier on in the film gets her hand caught for realsies this time. She dies. And the male cop gets sucked into the walk-in cooler. Things are starting to ramp up. He then gets attacked by a fish. Well, he's a goner. What an embarrassing way to die on film. The other cop finds Priscilla, who was knocked out by David earlier. The desk in the control room now suddenly seems much smaller than it was. Priscilla explodes. The building starts to burn and the doors get locked. People get barbecued alive, including this woman, who somehow or another lost her shirt in this whole deal. Mike finally gets the idea to fry the system, maybe if he would have just done this earlier. Catherine burns, again, because she burned herself the first time. Anyways, the system burns. Wait. Maybe she's dead now. Mike, Laura, the remaining cop, and Marvin escape. The end. The exterior shot of Starbody's health spa seen here is actually a building underneath a parking deck, which was a dance studio originally. Sometime after filming, the top portion, which was the parking deck, became a second floor. Around 2021, though, the entire parking deck and surrounding buildings were all demolished. Death Spa had to be heavily cut by the MPAA in order to avoid an X rating due to excessive nudity. Imagine that. The extras in this shower scene were brought in from a local porn casting agency. Merritt Buttrick, who played David in this film, would not go on to make further films, as he died from toxoplasmosis, complicated by AIDS, on March 17, 1989, at the young age of 29. Sherry Shattuck, who played Catherine, had her voice dubbed by another actress. Remember the basement scenes? An early draft of the film included a janitor who lived in this basement, meant to throw off the audience as a red herring. This was scrapped in the final draft due to budget likely. This movie was very 80s. The use of technology was thrown around in a very cheesy way that by today's standards is laughable, giving this film some comedic quality. The acting was decent, and carried a fair amount of known actors today that have gone on to do much bigger things. The special effects could have used some work in places, like here. This kind of looks like paper mache that a middle schooler made. As far as the head explosion and end sequences go, they again were all laughable. Overall, I give this film 3 skulls. Watchable once, then break it out only to annoy your friends on the odd occasion. Check out the channel community page for the weekly poll that's usually announced after a new video goes live, where you can vote for the next film from a random assortment. Thanks, Horror Hounds, for joining me on this gruesome journey. Until next time.
There's more to this job than things that go beep and buzz.